Welcome to the National Real Estate Network video training program. This video is part of a series designed to help beginning and experienced real estate investors with the different aspects of purchasing and investing in properties. Be sure to click become a member at 27monthlymeetup.com.
But they generate phone calls. So basically, you've got to be able to get your lead, drive by the property, set up an appointment with the seller, gather all the information for appointment. You got to have a toolkit. You got to have a digital camera. When we go out to do the deal, we're going to want to go there one time. So we carry lock boxes with us. And this is when we're doing wholesaling. And if we're dealing with somebody that's a majorly motivated person, we can go in and strike the deal. In other words, they don't want the house anymore. They want to walk away. So we carry the purchase agreements, the forms with us. If we're unsure about the house, we actually have an advertising agreement we get them to sign so that we can still publish the house. In all of our agreements, we have the right to file a claim of interest against the property. So that, and the reason we do that is because other investors are unscrupulous. So like that house I was just telling you about in East Point, I had another realtor and her customer try to go around us and tried to avoid the fact that the house was listed in totality. So there is no honor inside the investor world. So you've got to actually record a claim of interest. And you can't record a claim of interest unless you've got a legally binding contract that has that in the contract. So we have that in it so that then we can go market the properties. We have deed-off packets. If somebody's a majorly motivated person, then we'll take the property right on the spot. We'll take them to the bank and we're going to get a deed for them. But it's going to be a quitclaim deed. We're going to sign a warranty deed, but we're not going to record. The quitclaim deed says you're signing Ken. If Ken's a motivated seller, he's signing off all the rights to his property to me, and I'm taking it with a quitclaim deed means that he's just assigning me whatever rights he had in the property. Then we're going to go investigate the property, determine whether it's worthwhile doing. But we'll also have them sign a purchase agreement with us so that we can file a claim of interest against the property. So we've got it liened and we've got the deed, and we can either move it or not record the deed, or record it and we've got the warranty deed for later. I'm like going 100 miles an hour. There's when I do the all-day seminars, I slow this whole thing down and explain. So you got to have a forms packet, seller referral agreement. I'm not even going to get into today. So where do you get the money to get the deal done? If you've got a really good deal in real estate, you'll never have a problem finding a partner that'll go into it with you. So all investors that become major investors have one common problem. They all run out of money. So you end up needing private investor money. You need, is that true? I mean, here's somebody very active. So you're looking, yeah, they've got the money. They don't want to spend the time. So they become a partner. So I ended up with a bunch of partners that were heavy duty investors that were looking for a return on their money. And I was a great party because I would go run and do the rehab and do everything and then split the money with them. So and they were in the background. The question is it risky to get partners? Well, if you structure it properly, you're okay. So the real question is, I have no money, right? You have the money. So now the question becomes, who's at bigger risk with the money? So you have to develop a track record. They have to see him actually go out and make money and know what he's doing. And the investors that I dealt with understood the real estate market, so they knew they were getting a good deal. So the answer to the question is yeah, real estate by its very nature is risky. In fact, I need to give you a disclosure. It's a good idea you said that. So everything I'm telling you tonight is a lie. And if you want to try it on and do it, go ahead. So now I've publicly said everything I'm going to tell you tonight is a lie. So that's my disclosure, but really the disclosure is risk. Real estate by its nature is risky. And so you do run into a situation where you've got an unscrupulous investor or you got an unscrupulous person that's wanting to get the money. So you need to have an understanding of the business. So really what I recommend most investors get started in the wholesaling end of it, because if you can find a really good deal in real estate and wholesale that deal or bring it to other investors and watch them, then you're going to understand the business really well. And then even if you're going to get other people's money, you're going to do all right. But the investors that I was dealing with were already real estate investors that were majorly out there, and they were really just looking to get a major return on their money, and they understood the risk involved. Okay, so and well, if you're doing the deal correctly, then the investor that puts the money up would have a mortgage against the house. So he put the money up, right? And he might be getting some interest on his money, so he's got a mortgage recorded against the property. So his risk would be, he says, okay, Mark, here's $10,000 for the rehab, and I put the rehab money in my pocket and don't do the rehab, and then I just keep yip-yapping to him. So that's a potential risk. So even as an investor, you need to say, okay, well, I'm going to put the money up for the rehab, but you're going to still watch your investment, right? And make sure the rehab's actually happening and stuff. So it's where it's in real estate, you can only expect what you inspect. And that pretty much holds true in a lot in life. So you got to inspect what, what's going on. So, I mean, the truth of the matter is a few years back, there was an investor. I've got a good friend. He lost $400,000. It's Mark P. Okay, and the investor just didn't even own all the properties she was given the mortgages on. Okay, so you need to make sure there's title work done. You need to make sure it's being properly done. So that's why you want to go to the meetings, and you don't want to just say, okay, well, I trust this person. You need to inspect what they're doing. So I don't know if that answered your question or not. Okay. Well, re-ask it. I want to make sure you get the answer. Yeah.
Well, I know a couple of business owners that don't get partners, and I see some of they're going like, I guess, where all the work that they've done is like crumble because, the partner is being able to find that people, but
Yeah.
like one of those parents, they build up companies or businesses, right?
So my whole model on how I was doing business when I had an investor was to get a divorce. How you got the divorce was to get the property sold. So we were strictly buying a property, fixing it up, and reselling it, and getting out. So it was. The problem arises when you're buying and holding, and you've got two partners, and now one says, well, I go over there and handle all the rent all the time, so I should get more, all this stuff, So, and that kind of stuff. Anytime you got a partner, I mean, look at marriages and divorces and stuff. So for me, it's like, we're getting a divorce, and the divorce, let's figure out how we're going to settle it going into it. So you're like, we're just buying this strictly to get it resold. So it's when it doesn't resell or something goes wrong is where the problem comes. So if you've structured it properly, when the investor put the money up, that's 100% his risk. And then if yeah. So if I was going to get a rental property, I probably wouldn't be doing it with an investor. Do you follow? But yeah. Yeah, when it's working, then they just want to keep giving you the money, you know.
Buying, fixing, and renting, so I'm trying to figure out how to do this, keep going. Without investors, or if we do, how to make sure that.
Well, then you're going to be looking for more.
Because I would eventually like to transfer to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
So I don't have a mic, so if I'm saying things that make sense, you have to do it. I think what I'm hearing you say is, your goal is to be able to buy both property, so you can get passive income. However, your concern is you'll have enough money to buy as many as you want. So you probably have to find other ways of generating income, other methods such as buying fixed and flip or sale, so you can stop piling money. to be able to buy
Well,
your house.
Yeah, and then by going to the investor meetings, you're going to be looking for mortgage people that'll put mortgages on rental properties and stuff like that. So it's, you first need to go get the first couple and just start doing exactly where you're headed. Get that one house and then go to the meetings and develop those associations. So, so how to take title to the property, and we're doing an all-day seminar on Saturday, so I've got a real estate attorney coming first thing in the morning that's gonna actually show people how to set up their own LLC and stuff, and he's got a whole course on it he's written, so he's gonna beta test the group by giving them the step-by-step stuff. So the answer is basically most real estate investors are doing a limited liability company, so that the property is, if somebody slipped and fell or they couldn't get insurance on it, is if somebody got hurt, that's the suit's gonna have to be against the limited liability company. It's not gonna affect your savings or your personal money. So how to insure property? If you're buying investment property, you're going to run into issues because the property that you're buying might be distressed to where the insurance company says, I'm not going to put insurance on it. So Michigan Basic could give you a Michigan Basic policy, which is basically a fire policy. So what I would do was I would get, and I haven't done this in a while, but I would buy builder's risk policies. So builder's risk policy, because I was doing a rehab on the property, a builder's risk policy would cover all my tools, anything I was doing to that property were covered. And then I would get a liability policy. So between the two of them, I had it, covered, or I would get like just a fire policy. But you're going to have to get a workman's comp policy if you're really getting into this, or you're going to have your contractors sign an exclusion where it's like one contractor, it's a corporation, so they're signing an exclusion, so they're saying they're going to pay for their own workman's comp. But really what you want to do is you want to get a contractor with workman's comp, because if they on your property and they fall off the roof and hurt themselves, and I had a partner that did not have workman's comp and was looking out the window in a second-story window on a Pontiac house and watched the contractor go by him going down as he fell off the roof with no workman's comp. And he ended up paying out of his own pocket. He didn't get a $25,000 settlement or something out of it, but he paid for the guy's hospital bills and took good care of him and got past that situation. So what that means is most contractors will say, okay, I have insurance here, but the only way you can really make sure they've got insurance, you need to be added on as an additional named insured. And they'll say, okay, here's my insurance policy, but you need a policy from the insurance company actually emailed to you that has your name added as an additional name insured. Because what contractors will do is they won't pay the workman's comp premium the following month, so they don't have workman's comp, and then somebody gets hurt, you end up getting sued. So if you use contractors, you have to make sure that they've got a policy and you're added to it. So where to find rehabbers? So the majority of my rehab